whole idea of what we're trying to do today is we're trying to do something just a little bit different, a little bit more unusual. We're trying to be using more unconventional lighting modifiers, use of color, etc., etc., etc. So essentially what we're doing today is we're going to be using these, if I can take this off for you, these wonderful little sort of spot focus type attachments. I really better watch I don't fall here. I know I'm definitely going to fall. But anyway, so we've got one of these. The great thing about these, we've got a lens in the front so we can sort of focus in and out and get this sort of really cool patterns, whether they're sharp or in focus. It's an amazing way to create sort of dynamic shapes and moods and modes. So we'll start off doing this type of thing, creating all these little lighting patterns and shapes and so forth. And then we might be able to do something different, make it dark or more moody or so forth. So you kind of get the idea. We're really creating almost like a fashion editorial or using movement and mood and atmosphere rather than maybe something that's sort of very, very perfect for these sort of words. I like doing things that are sort of imperfectly perfect, where we're sort of getting nice little mistakes happening or light falling exactly maybe where it's not supposed to be, because I love creating that sense of movement and mood and atmosphere rather than sometimes just the perfect exposure or the perfect positioning. So with that in mind, we might as well make a little start of what we're doing just to get the ball rolling and let you see what we're doing. So first things first, when we look at a lot of these little images that we see on screen here, one of the things you probably notice amongst them all is the kind of use of color, and we've gone for this very sort of cyan-y blue tone, which I really, really like, simply because I think it matches the garment first and foremost, but I kind of like that sort of coldness and blueness. So before we start adding any of the little shapes and patterns from the spot projector, which we're going to use here, the first thing we need to do is put like an overall wash of light over the subject here, okay? So we're going to put a sort of blue gel on a light, flood the scene with cyan light, get that exposure right, and then we can start doing what we want. We can start playing, we can start putting little spots, little bits of light in. So first things first, we're going to get, this is going to be what's basically the wash of light, which is kind of going to be just like a fill more than anything else, but we're going to fill it with that blue light. So what we've got here is these wonderful CITI600 Pro lights from PiXAPRO. I love this one because I can actually put this on a little extension head here. So it takes all the weight off the main head, keeps it at the bottom, actually acts as a bit of a counterbalance. I can boom that out, and I don't really have to worry about it falling or anything. So the first thing I'm going to do with this is, once I switch it on, and you can see here we've got a nice little light, I'm going to put that blue or cyan gel on. And I am very lucky today that I have got a gel guy called Ryan. Ryan, do the necessary. So when we're putting on gel, we do sort of like really high-tech stuff, whereas we cut a bit of gel and we get a hairband and we stick it on. So yeah, that's pretty much the long and short of it. As you can see, it's not too sophisticated, but it works really, really well. So that's, I know, isn't that so cool? So anyway, just to make sure we've got a really nice, even sort of wash of light, I'm just going to use a softbox, okay? So it doesn't really matter which type. This happens to be I'm definitely going to fall, a 65 RiceBowl or something these are called. They're really, really great. They're like slightly deeper, so it gives it a little bit of contrast, but a nice spread as well. So 65 centimeters, if I'm not mistaken. So let's just put that on first and foremost, just to make sure. I definitely try not. This is our last day, so I've done all week without killing the model, so it could be today, so we shall find out. So here we go. Hopefully it'll not fall on your head. So there we go. Is it overhead, sort of? Wee bit? Okay. So what we're trying to do here, if I get that in the right space, is this light's going to sort of wash around in here, fill this with blue, light a bit of the head. If Melissa tilts her head up, I'll light her head a bit more, but even if she turns down, it doesn't matter because we're going to be lighting her with the spotlights anyway. So the only little thing I might do is just tilt it ever so much that way, so it spills a little bit of light onto the background. I am going to be lighting the background a little bit later on anyway, but at the minute I'm just interested in getting that blue sort of wash around the picture. Okay, so let me come out of this a wee minute and let's get our tethered thing ready to go so we can take a shot for you, see where we are. Okay, ooh, something went horribly wrong with my tether thing, so let me just, hopefully it'll work this time. We shall soon find out. Ooh, hopefully. Let me just take a wee quick one, definitely make sure we're working. Say hello everybody, woohoo! It's not gonna get an exposure, but we'll see if it works anyway. There we go, that's the best picture taken all week. So, anyway, first things first, we've got our main light on. We've got this set at, let me see here, quite low power because we're not really lighting Melissa here herself. We're just trying to get that wash of color. So let me just take a little picture here just to see where we are, okay? Okay, Mel? Let's see where we are. Okay. Hopefully that will work for us. Let's see where we are. Okay, so that's not too shabby. Okay, so the whole idea is here, we're just creating a little bit of a blue fill. So that's actually not too bad. I don't mind that. We're getting a little bit of light in our forehead, but that's not the worst in the world anyway. It's really just again to get that blue color. I might just take it up a wee tiny bit so it's not getting too dark. So at the minute I'm just gonna bring it up about 2/3 of a stop, okay? By the way, what I'm shooting on now is f5.6 at 1/125th of a second, ISO 11 or ISO 100. I also, because I want to get it super blue, I'm going to change my white balance to Kelvin, about 4,300-ish, just to make sure we kind of got all that blue stuff going on. Okay, so while we've got that light in, and again, let me just take another one, just because I've just increased the power a little bit. Okay. That looks great, man. Did we fire there? Woo. Okay. So that's blue enough for me, okay? So now the cool part. So we've got that base layer, that wash of light. So now I'm going to bring in my first spot. This one, maybe? I'll bring in this one. Can't make my mind up. So this one, okay? And what we're going to do is, the first thing we're going to do is just light the garment, and then we'll light Mel's face, okay? So we're just doing one wee bit at a time. So let's bring this in now, and we'll get our great little spotlight on. So the great thing about this, as well as being able to focus in, it allows me to put little gobos in. So if anybody can see that, so it's little shapes or patterns and so forth. These particular lights, when you buy them, you can get lots of these little gobo-y type things. I'm sure you've all seen the type of things, different shapes, patterns, and so forth. So basically, it doesn't really matter. We can be creative and use whatever we want, whether it's something that looks like a Venetian blind or something that looks like, I don't know what that is, but you kind of get the drift. But just to make nice and simple, we're just going to do this thing that's kind of a bit spotty, just for the hell of it. What do you think? So let me get this in here first of all. So we've got our little device here, so we'll put that in just like so, and then we'll start taking a few snaps, see where we are. Oh, got it the wrong way around. So we've got our attachment in there. We've got our light in. Always a good idea to turn our lights on. Okay, so let me bring this over here. Now, I don't know how well you guys can see that from down there. It is quite bright in here, but see the fact that I can focus? It's not really registering too much, but let me take a picture and you'll soon see what happens, okay? So if I bring that up, just turn that off for me. So let me just turn that up here for us now a wee tiny bit. Okay, we can see it on her face a wee bit better now, but this is just lighting her coat. So I'm just going to bring it right there. What do you think, Mel? I'll just make it quite not so sharp. Okay, so let's just take one of those just to see where we are, okay? So I'll set that down about 1/4 power. We don't want to make it too light, but let's just see what happens, okay? So we've got this one in. Okay, let's see what happens. Okay, so we've maybe gone a wee bit overboard, but you kind of get the idea. We're putting in patterns and light and so forth. I actually like the fact that it's slightly out of focus. I just think it's maybe slightly just a wee bit too bright. So I'm just going to tone it down a wee bit. So I'm just going to take a third of a stop out of that, and that should be okay. So that's where we are. We don't have any spilling really on the face or on the background, which is what we want. So far, so good. Let me just take one more, just to make totally sure of where we are. Okay. So I mean, let me try to just to demonstrate to see if we can make it a bit sharper. I know it's a bit hard to see, but let's just see. So that's where we are there. I'm going to get it a little, that's more out of focus, so it's actually probably like a bit better, but it's personal taste. That's the beauty about these things. We can play about, we can do different things. There's no right or wrong. It's really whatever we prefer. But next thing, let's make sure we put a bit of light on our face, okay? Because what we really want to do is kind of, we've got light catching the forehead, but we just want to push a little bit of light in here. But we don't want to overlight it. We don't want to like use like a big softbox, then it's just going to flood the rest of light and undo all our good work. We really just want to chisel out a wee bit of light on our face. So I've got this one, which is literally just a little circle, okay? We're just hopefully going to punch a little bit of light just in here, okay? So let's give that a go. So we'll bring this one over. Okay, in like so. All right, Mel. So, you okay? So we'll get that in. So let's just turn that up a little bit, okay? Just to see where we are, okay? So far, so good. Now, it might be a little bit hard for you guys to see out there, but we'll soon see when we take a picture. What do you think about there? Sort of? Bring it in a bit closer, just to totally blind you. How's that? So I'm trying to get it so it's kind of like cutting our face, not right in the center. We're sort of getting a little line just to make it a little bit more unusual. So let's just take a picture and see how we get on. Normally in a studio where it's a wee bit lower light, we can see exactly what's happening here. It's a wee bit bright in here, but we'll work through it okay. Okay, you ready, Mel? So again, we'll probably put this at about sort of quarter power, but the same power setting as this one. Okay, let's see where we go. Just see how that one works for us. So, we'll probably get a bit overkill there, too bright, but that's kind of cool. I like the fact that it's kind of sort of slicing in there a wee bit. So I'll just take it out of focus a wee bit, and we'll just turn the power down a little bit. Okay, so that one is B. Okay, so I'll just take it down about half a stop, just to see where we are. Okay. And that should be much better now. Okay, Mel? Very good indeed. Cool. Now, let's see what that looks like. Oh, we're still probably just a slightly bit too bright. That's okay. Just take it down another little bit here. Okay, bring it in again. Okay. And let's just see where we are. I'll probably need to go down another wee bit there too. Let's just see. So it's a wee bit trial and error, but that looks good now, okay? Let me just see. So just a wee tiny bit. We don't want to go too much, and I might take it a little bit more out of focus. So that's probably more where I like to be, where it's a bit more atmospheric, a bit more moody. We're just sort of catching bits of light around your face rather than sort of getting in too much. Now, one of the really interesting things I like about this is when I'm doing sort of that sort of fashiony editorial type picture, I kind of like movement and mood and atmosphere. So I always like my subjects or models to kind of move about, just work themselves, use the garment to its best advantages, sort of make everything work within a tandem of itself. So we're going to get Melissa to move about a little bit. So what happens then is, with that light really focusing in that part, there's times where it's going to hit her here, there's times it's going to hit her here, there's times it's going to hit her over this side. But I kind of like that. I kind of like the roundness of it. It's not always going to be perfect. It's going to be a bit hit and miss. But I kind of love the fact that we're getting happy accidents from time to time. So what we're going to do is we'll bring in the fan. So can I get somebody to work the fan for me? So we've got the fan, and we're going to get Melissa to move about a bit. And then we'll see exactly how we can sort of make this portrait sort of be more organic and work through the thing. The other thing to look at here as well, normally if I'm doing a picture or portrait, I might use an 85mm 50 mil or something. So I want to get this real sweep, so I'm exaggerating everything. So I'm shooting at like 24 mil to kind of get a really sort of odd dynamic shape as well. So we're sort of pushing and exaggerating everything, okay? Just to make something like a little bit more unusual from the sort of normal sort of range of what we'd do. Okay, right, let's get her on there. Oh, you okay, Mel? Sure. You'll be going home with a cold now. So, too much, too little? Just about right. I'm definitely going to fall off that. You can give me a warning if I'm just on the edge. So let me rattle off a few pictures just to give you an idea of sort of how we work and how we sort of do stuff in this sort of scenario. Okay, Mel, I'm going to do one just to make sure everything's okay, and then I'm just going to rattle through a few. Okay. So let's see, just double checking we're good. Okay, so far so good. Okay, so normally I would go here, I would rattle off maybe like half a dozen images just to kind of get a wee mixture. I'm going to instruct Mel. I'm just going to instruct Mel to kind of move, tilt her head up, tilt it round, bring her hands up, bring her hands down. Just a real mixture of everything. So start with her hands down because I kind of like everything actually coming forward with the wide lens. It's going to look great. Okay, very good. Perfect, good. Really, really good. Just get that hair a wee bit more around. Drag her in there. He's sleeping. Cool, very good. And then right up over the head there, that looks fantastic. Bring it right up. Perfect, good, very, very good. Beautiful, that looks great. Perfect, good. Very, very good indeed. Beautiful. Cool. Very, very good. And I'm sort of changing my angle all the time too, so sometimes I'm doing this here, so we're getting sort of slightly different angles on how we sort of work. And every time I do that too, the light's hitting our slightly different scenarios also. Okay, Mel? Let's see. Cool, very, very good. Perfect. Very, very good. Very good. Perfect, one more. And one last one. Perfect. So you kind of get the idea of the kind of thing that we do as I get caught up in my own thing. So let's just have a wee quick look. So you can kind of see here, we've got, just by doing that, we're kind of getting different shapes and angles and so forth. Looks great. Kind of got a wee bit too much bottom there, but this looks good too. You see the way, I love the way that's kind of even slicing through her face. I don't mind that not being just exactly where it's supposed to be. Even that looks great to me. It's come in. I love the way we're only catching sort of half the face there. Do you know what I mean? Because I don't care if it's like 100% right or not, because we're just creating mood and atmosphere rather than trying to get something like 100% correct. So you get the idea of just exactly where we are. Easy? Okay. So before we what I'm really going to do is, if we find that that's maybe slightly too dark, we can always throw a bit of light on the background. So let's do that one very quickly here. Okay. You okay, Mel? All good? So basically, what I've got here is I'm going to put a little light at the bottom. So just one of these little PiXAPRO 200, which are really fantastic. We've got a round head front on it, which is going to give a nice sort of round natural vignette on the wall. So let's try that, okay? So I'll put that, hide it round behind the back here, okay? Just like so. And we'll just see what that one does, okay? So definitely just make sure we're firing here. Whoops, as I rack the place. It's bound to happen. Okay, so I moved that, didn't I? Yes, fan, please, Ryan. Okay, let me just take one. I sort of moved that a little bit. So just let me take one to make sure we're good. Turn it off a wee minute, just to make sure we're definitely okay. There you go. So now, here's the thing. I personally think that's a wee bit too bright and too halo-y. So I kind of like the way it's sort of mixing in with the bottom bit, but I'm just going to tone it down a wee bit because I don't want it to look too much like a hot spot, okay? So I'm maybe going to take that light up a bit, just tone it down so it isn't too white, but I do like the fact that we're getting that separation between Melissa and the background. So let me just turn that down a wee tiny bit. But you can kind of see here, this isn't rocket science. We're trying to just see, we're just trying to feel our way through the light, see what works, what doesn't work. We're not trying to get too technical or too precise. We're just, it's what we like. If I like it like that, that's cool. If we like it brighter or not, that's cool. But I like it slightly darker. So let's just bring it in here now. and I'm just going to turn that down ever so slightly. Okay, about a stop, I think. Okay, so let me just do one more, just to make sure we're definitely good. Hopefully that just tones it down a wee tiny bit. Yeah, that's better. So let me rattle off a few of those very quickly here. Okay, Ryan, let's go. Okay. Cool, very good. Perfect. Very good indeed. Wonderful, that looks great. Very good. Cool. Okay, so very, very quickly, because I know we're running out of time a little bit, I'm just going to do one very, very last. Okay? Yeah, very, very quickly. We're going to do one more little setup here for you, okay? So, guys, can I have a wee hand here 1 second? I'm just going to move this table out of the way here. Okay? Just to see where we are. Okay, that's a lift for you. There you go. Thank you very much. It's great having helpers, isn't it? Thank you, guys. So, we've got Melissa here on her own without any props to hide behind. So what we're going to do this time, I'm just going to use, see like this here, that looks like a little slice of out of the type. So we'll put that in. Okay, so what we're really going to do now is we're just going to carve out literally like a slice of light down the face. So it's kind of like if you're trying to flag something, but this will give it a much sharper, detailed look. So let me just bring that in like so. I'll put that in. Now again, it might be a bit difficult for you guys to see back there, but when we take a picture, it'll make a lot more sense. So let's just see where we are. Is the coat getting heavy? Oop, did I stand on your feet? No. So, all good. So maybe you can't see, but I can sort of focus that in and out like so. I don't know how easy that is for you guys to see down there, but let me just come in here another little bit here. Woo. And just see where we are. We'll get it totally in the right place that we want it. Okay. Let's just doubly make sure we've exactly got it. So that's much better now. So you can see it's sort of slightly down the middle of the face, like so. I'll maybe put it to one side a wee tiny bit. Okay. So first things first, just to really demo what we're doing, let me turn the other lights off just to show you exactly just what that one's doing. Okay. So if I come in here and just turn this down, just double check what number we're on there. B. Okay, so we'll keep that one as is. Cool. Cool, that looks good. So far so good. And I'm just going to turn that one off. So hopefully now we're just going to see what that little Gobos slice is doing before we start putting in the other two lights. So with Melissa here, let's just have a wee quick look. See what this does for us. So you can kind of see where we are here. We're literally just getting almost like a little sort of shaft of light right down the face, okay? So with knowing we can do that, then if we like it like that, that's great too. But what we're really going to do is we're just going to do the fill, we're going to do the color, and we're just going to build it up again. So the first thing is we'll put our fill on, okay? So if I come in here, very good. And then let's see what the fill does. Okay. Okay, Mel, let's do this thing. Very good. So let's see what that does. Hopefully it works. Woohoo! It worked. So it's probably like a little bit bright with the picture two lights. That main light's probably gone a little bit bright now, but I kind of still really like it. So let's put in the light again into the coat. Okay, so this was the coat one, which was A. So we'll put that one back on. Okay, let's see what that does. Okay, Mel? Woohoo! All right. Let's see how that works. So it's really simple. We're just sort of building up one light, two lights, three lights, really just sort of creating mood and atmosphere. Right, Jerry, how are you getting on? So let me just take that main light down ever so slightly because it just probably is slightly too bright. Don't you think? A wee bit too bright. So let me take that down, and then what I might do now is when I'm adding a bit of color on the background, let me just put that background light on again, just because it's the last show of the day, and my last day of the day will make it something We'll have a nice pink background, shall we? So, what I've got here is on our little Pica, the PiXAPRO Pica light, we've got the round head, nice little magnetic thing. So we just put that on, get a magnetic thing on there, dead easy. Okay, get this in the background. Really, really cool. Throw that around there, make sure I've got it switched on, which is always helpful. Okay, and we'll turn it up a little bit from previous, okay? And then we'll kind of just let me just do one wee test one before I start working through here. So, with that light on, let me just see here now. Let me take one, see what it looks like, and then I might tweak it. Okay, you ready, Mel? Okay. So let's see what that does. Okay. Yeah, it gets pink, but it's a wee bit bright, but it's kind of cool apart from it. Let me just direct it down a little bit. Okay. Like so. And let me have a good look. Yeah, it's quite nice. Quite nice. Okay, win guy, Ryan. You're definitely sleeping now. You can't wait to go home. So, okay, it's a long drive up the something, 6, yeah, okay. All right, Mel. So, okay, I'm going to sort of shoot at a wide angle to kind of get that sort of, I like that sort of dynamic shape sort of going up, okay? So let me just, okay, wind, here we go. Okay, Mel? Very good. Perfect, good. Very good, just make sure that light's hitting you maybe where we want it. I sort of miss you sometimes, but that's okay. Quite good, okay. I see I'm just going to move it ever so slightly that way. Cool, very good, perfect. And let me just make sure, yeah, we're not too shabby. It's probably still slightly bright on the main light, so let me just tone that down a little bit. Okay, very good, perfect, very, very good indeed. That looks really good, and just double make sure. Yeah, great. You see, very good, perfect. Very, very good, perfect. Looks great. Very, very good. And then we'll just sort of slightly defocus that a wee bit just so we get a softer shine of light, okay? And I might put that, let me just put that overhead light a wee bit brighter because the shadow, just in case the shadows go a little, I want to make sure they're not going too sort of heavy on me. So I'm going to put that fill light a wee bit brighter. Well, maybe it just didn't go off in that last one. Let me just give it a wee sort of smidgen. Just bring it over the front, just so it's definitely hitting the face a little bit. And then we'll take a couple more. And that's going to be us. Okay, Mel? Last few. Okay, here we go. Perfect. Great, really, really good. That looks fantastic. Good. So a wee quick look here. That looks good. My pink light's gone a wee bit skew. So let me just do this. Oh, you see, you're knocking it with a big coat. It was you. Dear goodness. Okay. Very good. Now let's just see. Very good indeed. Wonderful, very good. Perfect. And I'm going to turn that overhead light down just a wee bit more, just to show you what we can do if you don't want too much at all. Okay. Very good. Perfect. Very, very good. Kind of get it more moody again. So just by tweaking it, we can pretty much do. I'm just going to, for the last couple, I'm just going to increase the background even more. Let that wind really catch your hair. Very good. Perfect. Good. Perfect. So there we go, guys. So we've got a real sort of mixture of different bits and pieces. There's the last few I really just intensified the pinkness of the background, just for a little bit of variety. So there you go. So that's what we can achieve with literally 2 focus spotlights with Gobos, 1 overhead fill with a blue gel, and if we like, we can use a background light or not. So there you go. So thank you, Mel. That was a good show. Whoa! And thank you guys for coming along. So my name's Norwood. Check out any of the equipment that we bought from the PiXAPRO stand, or if you want to check out my Instagram or something to see my pictures, that's great. Thank you guys. Thank you.